Does pyrolysis suck? I can't lie to you, I don't got a straight answer for you, mainly cause despite getting the trim medal, I still don't really know if I actually enjoyed it or not. So let's discuss CC Pyrolysis and compare it to the original contingency contracts. Now, if you don't know, I consider the original contingency contracts to be among the best of the high difficulty Arknights events, and since they ended it with base point, I've been very disappointed with what they brought out with. Pinch out, terrible. Design of Strife, terrible. Trials for Navigator, it was technically out before CC ended, but they've been kind of fumbling the bag with that as well. And CC1 shows potential. It's not perfect, but I can see that there is a, I won't say diamond, but at least a shiny mineral in the stone. And let us start off with what I think is the strongest aspect of this event, and that is of course the daily maps. All of them are pretty great. There are only 4 of them, so not a lot to work with in terms of variety, but at least there was a high quality map for each of them. We got maps based off of Vulnerable Winds, Mansfield Break, Dostless Holiday, and Chronobug. If memory serves correctly, we've seen the Dostless Holiday and the Chronobug one before. The Vulnerable Winds one is definitely new, and I'm not too sure if the Mansfield Break one is. I'm pretty sure it's new because I don't remember a setup like that before, but if I'm wrong, you can correct me down below. In terms of difficulty, these maps are pretty balanced, giving out some pretty nice buffs in all of them, especially in the Dostless Holiday one. Y'all already know that Typhon clears on screen right now. Personally speaking, max risk on the Mansfield Break map was the only one I struggled with. Comparing it to the older CC's rotating maps, it felt around as difficult as some of the harder maps. The lack of new daily maps, however, is kind of a problem. Not to be complaining about having less content, but considering the original CC had a new map every day, there was actually a reason to click on the event node. In this one, you basically just have to log in, get your 620, and then if you don't get the first map on the first day, log into it 4 more times and you're done. Now, having less content in your events maybe means you can push that quality up. And all these maps were pretty good, but it does feel kind of like a downgrade or step back from the original CC. But at least they were very solid and they didn't cause me to want to tear my hair out. And speaking of tearing my hair out, the main map, it wasn't actually that bad, especially when you compare it to stuff like the Pinch Out map and the Design of Strife map. There was a decent level of difficulty. They put some effort into it and they gave some pretty difficult risks. Now, how does it compare to the original CC? Not well, I'm going to be honest with you. The difficulty scaling was crazy. Comparing the trim requirements to the old risk 18 requirement, it was night and day. 620 points is way too high for the medal requirement. I get it. You want to push your players to be better at the game, to have a harder time getting the medals. But this just felt way too high. Maybe something in the 400s for the standard medal and the 500s for the trim medal would be pretty balanced, because pushing it up to 620, it's pretty much getting way up there, especially when the basic medal requirement is 600. Way too close together. I don't know what they were cooking with that one. Now, I still prefer it to Pinch Out and Design of Strife, mainly because stuff will actually die on these high difficulty runs, but they need to focus on the balance. They need to narrow it down and get it into a range that can suit the casual players. I don't want to always be whipping out Miner, whipping out Texas Alta, whipping out all these meta powerful units just to be able to clear your map without tearing my brain out. Because even though I love this game, I am not the big brain doctor. I will, if need calls, look at some guides or look at some other clears just to get some ideas, because my brain do not be built for this doctoring stuff. At least all the rewards for the, say, skins and stuff are locked into doing challenges on the map. It's a nice change from having to buy it in the shop, because at least this way it incentivizes you to do those little challenges while building up to your 600, 620 clear. Also, this might be a nitpick, this might be something where you can say, Bionic, you were just wrong. I want them to bring back the risk system. Listen, I know they worked on the view of the point system, but it just doesn't work. I'm sorry, even the expanded version, it just doesn't give you as much flexibility, as much control as risks did. Now, I know Hippodrift probably wants the new CC to be its own thing, but it's just change for the sake of change. We'd already got a fantastic system that people really got behind. So I don't think they are going to change it, but I would like them to bring back the original Risk layout. So overall, the main map, a very mixed bag for me. The daily maps, a pretty solid bag of maps, and pretty fun. Now, what I want them to work on in the future is the difficulty. They just gotta balance it out, push that requirement down just a little bit for the casual player, and keep the high difficulty where it's at. You know, those big brain doctors gonna want that insane difficulty because it really forces them to work on their clears. Also, I want them to bring back the daily rotating maps, or at least add in one extra daily map, just to give a little bit more content after you've finished your main run. And when you bring that difficulty down, you can not make your most broken meta units look like they're balanced while trying to clear those stages. So yeah, CC is back, and it's not as good as before, but there is potential, and I am very much looking forward to seeing if it ever reaches those heights of CC12 again. Y'all be good people, and I will talk to you in the next one.